Oh hey, I was just looking at some numbers. Y'all like numbers, right? Right? So, we are currently missing from the original game 4 earth, 4 water, 2 wind, and 1 fire. And I think we're not going to do all the post-game on screen, but we're going to try to do as much as possible for these. You know, so that way we can get as much of that on camera as possible, because... And yeah, we will do all the arenas and stuff on screen, but grinding that out... there's going to be a lot of work involved, because... As we're about to see, as soon as I go and try to log into one of these areas... You'll notice that these stage 5s are 7 floors each. And there's a stage 6 that's 6 floors afterwards. Plus a bottom floor that is like just a single screen that you have to go to. Just yikes, that's a lot. That's a lot. That's a lot. That's a lot. In case I haven't made it clear, that's a lot. So, we're going to maybe go water first. I'm going to take a look at my my little chart here. That's wrong. Yes, actually, we are going to go into the water forest first here. Section 5, water tour. And this should be, well, quite a lengthy journey. I did poke my head a little bit into the earth forest earlier, earth crystal, in order to do some level grinding and cash grinding, because, as you will see, our money has been pretty hardly wiped out. It's like in the past week I went to college or something, I don't know. But we have pretty much bankrupted ourselves by doing a lot, and I mean a lot, of merging. Mostly of beasts that we don't use, because, you know, we're at a point where leveling up our current party is not a fast process. So, yeah, I've obviously been in there in order to raise up some money and, you know, keep things rolling a little better. Because we are going to have to shuffle through a lot of party members. Once you get deep enough into the game, they really do kind of test you on like, oh hey, have you been raising auxiliaries, or are you stuck with just like 1 or 2 beasts for this genus arena? We can also see, yes, I haven't sold this yet. This is our first time seeing one of these. The Amazon Eye. This is a special gem from the Earth Forest that is worth 4,000 when we sell it. So that, I actually picked that up and I was like, okay, I'm not going to sell that. I'm going to show that off on stream real quick. Because I don't think we found a single one of those to this point. If I'm wrong, well, then I'm stupid and I'm sorry about that. If I'm right, however, well, there you go. New thing, new content. Right within the first 5 minutes. Which is great, because it's probably going to be at least a moment before we see anything else new. These frog bats are the same frog bats that we saw before, just with a little more meat on their bones. Which means that it is going to be very hard to comment at times because, yeah, we're fighting the same fights, but they're worth a little more experience, and that is not what I was hoping for when I saw one of that item sprite drop on the ground. Again, some more knuckle cracking. Because at this point, that's just becoming very normal. I really did notice last time just how much I was doing it, and I don't know if that's been a recurring thing for a while with me, that I've just been like crack, 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 crack all over the place. If so, gee, I'm sorry about your ears. Ooh, that targeting is not exactly what I was hoping for, but it is what it is. Let's take this thing out with a bit of the lifesteal, I think the attack's called. Yeah, lifesteal. I'd forgotten, actually. Yeah, I forget sometimes. I forget a lot of things. Who would have guessed?
What a gaudy woman. Hey, Kahoo, what are you looking at?
Cure? You're Cure, right? Huh? What? Young man, have we met somewhere? Hi, you're alive! I'm so glad. What a relief. What an odd boy. What do you mean? Yes, I'm alive. See? Hey, young man, have we met somewhere?
She does look a little like her, but is she human?
But I'm sure she is Cure. I somehow know it.
Whatever the case, how can such a coincidence happen?
Hey, young man. This girl here, could she be a fairy?
Hi, I'm sorry, but you happen to look a lot like our friend. We don't mean any harm.
Wow, incredible! It talks. Hey, young man, will you sell it?
You even have
sorry.
money.
Nico here is my friend. Aw, how nice, a friend. I want one. But our meeting here has got to be our fate. Pleased to meet you. My name is Cure. I knew it. I'm Kahu, and this is Nico. Pleased to meet you. Huh? Kahu, you're an odd one. Well, see ya. Bye-bye.
And as I think I said a couple of streams ago, there goes the emotional resonance of her death. Like, I mean, for me, part of it is that sequence was supposed to be kind of messed up, and then they do this. Oh well, at least we can get a dragon egg from her at some point. Whenever the game feels like letting me have that anyway, in a few billion years. Which, actually, that's something that I don't know a whole lot about. Like, you can get a bunch of rare beast eggs from people in the lounge, pretty much at random. There were some suggestions that there was some sort of, like, affection system involved, or you do jobs specifically for them and it has a better chance of happening. I don't know about any of that. I have never been able to confirm, and it seems like the recent, and recent needs to be in very large air quotes here, but the recent discussion surrounding that suggests that all that was a load of bull. And that it's just, it'll happen when it happens. Yeah, like I said, these fights are not very engrossing at the moment. We've seen this before. Thank you, game. Give me the free experience. I just want the Kalma out of this location. Ooh, that is a color swap sprite there. Deep Marine. There we go. There's another 4 grand gem for us. That is a nice chunk of cash that we just stumbled upon. That's pretty good. See, this was worth oh, hey, buddy.
Been waiting.
Well, sorry, this game is long, okay? And this will be an enemy with a spell that can't do anything useful to us. Hey, you! How's it going, Retro? So this dude has a spell that we want a lot because it recovers MP, which basically means this fight is not a threat whatsoever because it's just gonna... I bet we're gonna see it just spam the MP recovery spell that it's so weak that it cannot shore that mana back up. It definitely would have needed some buddies here for it to be remotely an issue. Again, single targets tend to be very weak in this game. Also, we just made it explode. Awesome. Oh shit, I shouldn't laugh at that, but on the other hand, like, just imagining a game like that going many times too fast is a very funny mental image. You selected sync video sounded... That's a very weird thing to happen. As you've probably guessed by now, but... Unfortunately, I don't really know a lot about those kind of features in an emulator because it rarely comes up. Well, like, you didn't accidentally hit something that was hotkeyed to it, did you? Like, you didn't accidentally smack an F key that you didn't mean to, or something like that, or... Well, okay then. I guess check around in whatever options menus to see if there's anything in there that will help you with the problem. Because that's about all I can suggest. If there's nothing to change that in the emulator, that would be fucked. Well, that shouldn't be a constant thing, right? That should just be for as long as you have the button held down, yeah? At least that's how it usually is with that sort of thing. Well, there you go. That would be very strange if that was the problem. I'll take that 800. Anything else going on around here? A little more cash. Yep. The rewards for these areas are pretty good, but there is a lot to go through, so I should hope so. Also, yeah, you will notice, by the way, for some reason, in the post-game areas, contrary to what we were getting earlier in the game, the music is drastically reduced. Like, you pretty much just get some weird ambient noises at this point. It works for me. I think I have a copy of Golden Sun: The Lost Age somewhere. I dearly hope that I did not sell off my cartridges of the 2 Golden Sun games that I found in one of my drawers one day, many years ago. But I'd have to go digging through my stuff because right now, all of my GBA things are currently just sitting in a drawer. Except for, like, a couple of the Battle Network games that are in those little plastic GBA cartridge cases, you know, the ones that would carry 2 cartridges, and those are sitting on a shelf. Because I was probably playing some of those recently, because I've probably mentioned it before, but I really like the Mega Man Battle Network games. That seems like a thing that I've had that conversation about many times in the past. Though speaking of that series, I actually did, on a semi-related note, go looking on eBay for a cartridge copy of Boktai, which is a game that had a tie-in with Battle Network in games 4 and 5, and game 6 if you were in Japan, but since Boktai 3 never came out in the States, they removed that in probably the worst way that I've ever seen anything cut out of a game in a very long time. I went looking on eBay for a cartridge of that because I was like, you know, this seems like something that I would really like to have and to play, and playing it on an official cartridge would probably be the best way to go. Certainly, I don't want a reproduction cartridge, which there are repro cartridges of that on eBay, but I really don't think you can use that term in this case because, unsurprisingly, those being just like every other, you know, reproduction cart, you know, low-budget pirate cart that exists on eBay, it's just a basic GBA cart, you know, with the ROM installed on probably a mass-produced board, and yeah, exactly. Since it's the same generic cartridge, it's the dark gray plastic. It doesn't have the solar sensor in it at all, and even if it did, it couldn't detect anything because it would be inside of an opaque cartridge. And it's not, like, based on temperature or anything. It's you know, it's exactly what you think it is, basically. So, for some reason, those are on eBay, and you can get them for less than 20 bucks, but if you do, you're a fool, honestly. Setting that aside, the official cartridges are like 130 or something is what I was seeing for a lot of them for Boktai 1 and for Boktai 2. They were in very similar price points. And I was just like, that's kind of gross. The flying beak thing is actually in its final form. It's like, it's supposed to sort of resemble a jet plane there. Well, yeah, the enemies, we don't get random encounters of anything that is final stage. We get things that are second to last, and that's what we've been fighting the whole time, but yeah, no final stage random wandering enemies, which is almost a disappointment. I would love to get into a fight with those because they'd have more experience, and on the other hand, there's enough mooks in each of these floors that, you know, getting into too many fights that are too long would probably be quite frustrating. Look at this thing just flip out. It does not know where to go to get to me. That is this. And we trapped another enemy entirely. Look at that. I wasn't even trying to do that, and I just... Good job, game. Good work, everyone involved. Yeah, so one other thing about Boktai that I think a lot of people probably know, but don't think about very much also is that it's a Hideo Kojima game. Like, it's kind of strange to think that he did go Metal Gear, didn't he? Metal Gear 1, Snatcher, Police Nuts, Metal Gear Solid, MGS2, that? Strange progression, but, I mean, it kind of makes sense when you think about, the solar sensor. Nobody else is going to do something like that. And, of course, that has caused problems in the modern day because bringing that thing forward, yeah, good luck. I don't think it is particularly something that is great to use on a GBA SP either to begin with, or like honestly really any of the handhelds past the Game Boy Advance. Unfortunately, if you've played on an original Game Boy Advance, you know what the problem about doing that is. If you have to be out in the sun, it don't work. It barely works under electric lights. Although that said, I've actually had much better success with the original GBA screen ever since we switched over as just we in general, as a species basically, switched over from incandescent bulbs over to CFLs and later on LED bulbs, I think. Actually, I'm pretty sure all the lights in my room, and in fact, every light in the house except for the one that I use for when I'm recording video, I think all of those actually are still compact fluorescents. So I may not actually be able to speak on LED bulbs. But I'm just remembering the sheer misery that was involved in trying to play a game on the original Game Boy Advance hardware. It was a messy proposition, to say the least. I've been having a lot of Game Boy Advance related memories lately anyway. One of the streamers I watch, since he's doing a Kingdom Hearts marathon throughout the entire summer, he started on Chain of Memories recently, but he's playing them through the PS4 ports. So of course he's playing the ported version of RE Chain of Memories, which is the 3D port on the PS2. And I remember having played Chain of Memories on GBA, and by on GBA, I'm pretty sure I mean I mostly played it on emulator, although I do have a cart for Chain of Memories. I remember buying it for $8, which nowadays sounds like complete madness to get something like that for that price, I'm sure. Because it has a name attached to it. Even if it's, it may be Kingdom Hearts, but it is still Chain of Memories, right? Or rather, maybe it should be the other way around. So, I've been trying to say stuff to him. He's been like, oh, well, my friend is telling me that Chain of Memories was better on the GBA, and I don't think that's true. And I'm like, hard to say, because honestly, for the time, it was pretty cool getting a Kingdom Hearts game on Game Boy Advance, and the cutscenes were pretty decent looking for a GBA thing. But also, oh boy,
I spy an enemy. Let's execute.
There
Jade,
were some pretty big problems with, especially a certain dickhead with a big blue shield. And, of course, he was in the fight against Vexen.
Slimy's rude.
Actually, in particular, the first fight against Vexen for, like... He had to have been there for an hour. So I was, you know, we're really just kind of roasting that a little bit. And I'm just thinking about, wow, I hate the sound of Vexen's voice in Chain of Memories. It was... It was really starting to drive me absolutely apeshit every time he's just like, I shall freeze you! And I'm just like, oh my god. He sounds like just the worst. I can't even place who it was anymore that I thought he sounded like. It was... Like, he sounded like one of the guys from Beast Wars. In particular, in that Beast Wars fighting game. Does anyone remember that, by the way? I know that it existed, and I remember renting it. But that's about it. I think it was N64. It might have been PS2. Might even have been PS1. I should look that up because we're in the middle of a trainer fight here. And we're about to absolutely annihilate this fucker. Not familiar with Beast Wars at all? Well, darn. Might have been...
No good. Not enough slime.
Okay, I think the one that I'm thinking of is an N64 fighting game. It was a Blockbuster Video exclusive. Yes! That explains a lot. Called Transformers Beast Wars Transmetals. And I just... Like, he struck me as it was the voice actor for... I cannot for the life of me remember which one of these dudes.
No more waiting. I'm just...
Did you say, was it Scorponok? I don't know. No, Scorponok wasn't in that game. I'm now... Incidentally, yes, I'm now sitting over here looking this up. Trying to figure out who in the fuck this character was. It was like one of the bug-related ones, too, I think. Not Waspinator, either. Waspinator is hilarious for other reasons.
Oh no. Oh.
It might have been Tarantulas or something.
Please take it.
Because that was one of the dudes in Beast Wars who was,
I've got plenty.
well, a robot tarantula.
Well, see you.
Yeah, it had to have been. And I was just sitting there like, oh my god, he sounds like... Well, I had originally said, oh, he sounds like a grown-up Mandark, which, I mean, I think part of that is just projecting onto the fact that Vexen is a huge fucking nerd. But also, no, I realized, oh my god, he sounds like this Beast Wars tarantula, but a little bit higher pitched. And for some reason, I just have I don't know what it is with me, that I just have single little sound clips from random-ass games stuck in my brain forever. I have the fucking Beast Wars fighting game for N64. This stupid spider asshole going, surprise! I have just random chunks of music that are half... Like, I don't even know, did I find it that annoying or something as a kid? I have no memory of this game in a real sense whatsoever. So... I don't know what to tell anyone. Except that the Transformers, I've never played any of the Grandia games. I remember Grandia 2, in fact, I still have the manual for this game, so I can probably confirm later, I guess, if I feel like getting up, that there was an ad for Grandia 2 in the back of the manual for this. Like, there was a deal that was, hey, if you buy 3 of these really early PS2 RPGs, you could order this. And my brother and I were trying to find these games, and we could not find any of them except for this one. So, that is my Grandia 2 story. I have no real comment that I can actually make on what you have just referenced, basically. Well, gotcha. Like I said, I don't have a whole lot I can add there, just... But duly noted. Apparently, if we get to that game, the final boss is a voice that is memorable for some reason or another. Does this thing want to turn around? Well, yeah, I mean, of course it's not. It was the early 2000s. I don't think we ever really got good voice acting in pretty much anything that was dubbed from Japanese until, well, probably around the start of the PS3 era. I don't necessarily want to be like, oh, these companies were being exploitative about it, but, you know, they definitely cheaped out on it because they were like, hey, yeah, this is easy money for us, and the hell with doing the actual work, right? You know, why would they want to pay people to be able to make money? This is one way to put it. Otten Kaitos is one that I have not played, but I seem to remember that that is another game that is incredibly long. Although I'm mostly basing that off of what I heard about the speedrun of that game being, like... The last time I heard anybody mention it was that it was like a 70-plus hour speedrun. So that's telling me big, big game. But, again, I could not personally confirm. I've run into only a very few copies of it in the wild, either. It's a very slow speed run, right? I mean, it's... I guess the idea of what constitutes speedrunning is a little bit dicey, because it's just, oh, complete a game faster than average. That's not necessarily the most interesting thing, right? I mean, there's people out there who speedrun, or, you know, you can put the quote marks if you want, Animal Crossing. And Animal Crossing, to get through all of that stuff is not a short process. Although, obviously, that's because Animal Crossing is meant to be played over a very long period of time in tiny installments as opposed to shotgunning it, which will just drag the process out. I'm saying don't take that to GDQ because that will be like a multi-day affair. I kind of wonder if anybody has ever tried to submit a run that long to GDQ. Because, of course, GDQ is mostly going to want stuff that's more measured in length. Let's take a look at our current status here. Anyone really need any health? I don't think... Yeah, health is not a concern. It's mana that's an issue. So, let's feed you real quick. Anyway, yeah, I can imagine that Bot and Kaitos is not cheap.
Hey, let's do what two beast hunters do when they're alone.
I should have picked it up the last time I saw it for a lot less than it probably is now.
Come on, here goes.
I think the last few times I saw a copy, it was... Well, I definitely saw it for like 30 bucks at one point.
Not pulling any punches.
And I was like, I don't remember what that is.
Battle, don't you know? I'll tell why.
Oh, this could be painful. Hey! Why you gotta be like that, dude? Come on. Don't be such a dick. This 3 going straight down the middle. Ouch! I do not have... I have the kind of HP to deal with that sort of sustained offense. So, yeah, I do assume that, like, most retro games are ridiculously... kind of grossly expensive even now. In fact, I did recently search Rule of Rose, because I have a copy of that. And smartly, I bought that when I was able to get it for 30 bucks. But it has since gone up to like 400 or something, I think, for a complete copy. Possibly more.
Don't be so hasty. The fun is yet to begin.
I mean, my copy is complete, although the manual is not in great condition because I had it out of the box for a while. Yeah, it has definitely gone a little bit nutty in that regard because... Yeah, I streamed it years and years ago. Like, back when I was first starting out streaming, I'm pretty sure I did it in October because I was like, oh hey, Halloween, I'll do a horror game. The real horror of that game is the fucking controls, let me tell you what. Oh god, Path of Radiance. Ugh. The prices on that, but then again, a lot of that is because they didn't really give that a very good print run, did they? That said, for the people who want to play Path of Radiance, I'm pretty sure that there's still options, as it were. I mean, I'm pretty sure that it works with Dolphin. The one big secret Nintendo doesn't want you to know. Piracy actually exists.
So, you satisfied? Quenched your thirst? Excellent, as usual. You came with a strong attack. I was so surprised.
Hey, you okay, sir?
Guppy to you. But I'm okay. Oh yes, I'll give you this. The symbol of my respect.
A new
Collect a lot
GPU
of
for a
them,
copy
and
of
I'll
it?
do something good for you. Well then, see you.
Sounds actually pretty reasonable because, you know, new graphics cards are grotesquely, well, actually I suppose it's the other way around. If you're the one receiving the GPU, because I know that that game is expensive, but I think at some point you got to put your foot down and be like, I think that this is a little insane price-wise. Yeah, I would assume that, like, anything right now... Well, I mean, there's a lot of things that are jacking the prices up on GPUs at the moment, but even aside from that, like, a new... You know, if people weren't trying to do Bitcoins and NFTs and stuff like that, and if we didn't have the chip shortages that we were having... and all this other silicon shortage stuff, if none of that was an issue... Oh, I'm probably gonna lose hella shields here. Oh, maybe not. If none of that was an issue, a GPU would still be, like, a new 3080 would still be a damn fortune right now. I'm sure. Or are they doing, like, 3080 Ti or whatever now? Either way, yeah, not something that I would consider within affordability for myself. Even if I could, you know, like sell off my 1080 and the rest of my Magic decks and probably Rule of Rose, I would be like, ugh, that's still... No, I'd be able to... Yeah, I would assume that... like, any of the 30XX right now are not really worth it anyway, so... Although I seem to recall that the 3080 Ti was decent. The vanilla 3080, I recall looking at that being like, oh, that's trash. I looked at the 3070 for a bit before I had gotten my 1080 Ti, because I was like, you know, that looks decent for the price new, but... You know, fat fucking chance finding that, and I found a 1080 Ti on eBay for a little under 450, I think. Either way, I got it at the end of last year, which is sort of before the big NFT boom happened, so I pretty much got there at just the right time, I think. Which is great because, you know, I haven't looked lately, but I'm sure the prices are just like, just the worst. Because even though that kind of stuff is on the decline, I'm pretty sure that the prices have not dropped back down to compensate, especially because a lot of people who probably purchased them at too high prices, basically, are going to be like, damn it, I want my money back in full for this. Which, fair enough. I would absolutely understand that. Well, for people who want them for game reasons and, you know, doing stuff that you actually do with graphics card, plural graphics cards, you know, we're not talking about a thing that only one of exists in the world, believe it or not. But for people who do things that are like a graphics card is actually meant for, I sure fucking hope they go down. Unfortunately, I think that I'm at a point in terms of stuff that I do with some of the stronger gaming stuff that I'm a little too far gone to try and gamble selling off my 1080 Ti and swapping the 960 back in for a while and hoping that something better, like, just takes an absolute nosedive in price in a couple of months. Because I assume that PSO2 New Genesis is going to look at the 960 and be like, you're fucking with me, right? I mentioned before... In fact, I mentioned this in the review that I did when the game came out, but Risk of Rain 2, when I had the 960 and I had that at max graphics settings, was butting up pretty close to the VRAM max on that 960. So I couldn't record it without that just absolutely losing it a lot of frames. Well, I'll probably be okay for now, but I guess I could at least, like, investigate that stuff. I feel that the 1080 Ti is going to at least suffice for a while for most gaming. Like, unless I really decide, oh yeah, I really need to play Cyberpunk 2077. At which point, it probably would actually be cheaper to get a new-gen console. And those... I assume that, like, secondhand prices for those are absolutely disgusting, because getting hold of those continues to be a chore! Because that's just the world we live in now, apparently. That the bots can just buy things immediately. And it really sucks shit for people who want to do actual things with those other than just have them on a shelf in a corner so they can gloat. I mean, that'd be pretty good if you could do something like that. Or at least if we get better, you know, scripting for preventing people from doing stuff with botting. Like, I don't know, make sure they wait a certain amount of time between steps or something. Enough to recognize that it would be like a human input and, you know, at least have a bit of an arms race, I guess, against the other programmers instead of just throwing your hands up and being like, well, we're making the money, aren't we? I mean, in theory, yes, but technically, isn't the point of a store to provide products to customers, you know, that there is more to that than a profit motive, is what I'm trying to say, in theory. Of course, I know what capitalism is, so I know that that's not a true thing at all. And I'm just saying ridiculous things because, you know, looking at that hurts my brain. Oh well, maybe in a few years when I am more aware of games for the PS5 that would hook my interest, I will, you know, there will be enough production for me to even be able to actually get hold of one. The hell with price. You know, by the time FromSoft remembers to do like an Armored Core remaster or something like that, I don't really know specifically what else to say, because, you know, one of the things about Sony being just a general purpose technology company as opposed to like a video game company is that they tend to have more franchises that are, you know, short-lived. And, you know, they rotate through, come and go. Does anyone remember one that Insomniac did in the very early days of the PS3 called, I think, Resistance Fall of Man or something like that. It was some sort of shooter. I seem to recall the art for the first game had like a skull with too many eye holes on it, very much in focus. I don't remember if the subtitle was Fall of Man, but I remember that it was Resistance something or other. I'm gonna go with Fall of Man because that sounds very familiar. Anyway, there was a second Resistance game. There was a Resistance 2. There was a sequel made for it, and then it just kind of disappeared. And, you know, those things can end naturally and all that, and mostly I'm just saying that it's like they have shorter stuff like that under their consoles as opposed to, like, hey, it's 35, almost, you know, well, I guess 36 this year. You know, it's 36 years after Super Mario Brothers, and we're still making Super Mario games. You know, they don't have the same kind of lifespan as the stuff like what Nintendo has. So, I'm stuck in a position where I cannot so easily think of what specifically I would be interested in that would be a PS5 thing, I guess. Same goes for Xbox, but the only Xbox console that I have ever owned is the original Xbox. I have an original Xbox. It's not the one that we had when I was a young teenager, but it is an original Xbox hanging out behind the television that is sitting in my room. And the only games I have for that, I have Myst 4, and I have the Sega GT and Jet Set Radio Future double pack. Which, of course, I bought primarily for Jet Set Radio Future because that's a good game. Ah, gotcha. I didn't remember any of the other games after Resistance 2, but interesting to know that they kept going with that a little more. I mean, obviously, Insomniac, Ratchet & Clank is still going. There is a Ratchet & Clank game for the PS5 that is, like, the title is Void something, or something to that effect. You know, it's not the usual style of blatant sexual innuendo, I don't think, but yeah, that's like probably the closest thing that I can think of to a franchise that's that big and long running in the current Sony slash you know, companies working under Sony specifically label under that little arch. Because, and, you know, that said, also, this is probably a bit of a hot take, but as somebody who really loved all of the Ratchet & Clank games for the PS2, I kind of couldn't get into the ones on PS3 very much. I just could not get into Rift Apart. There we go, yeah. Okay, yeah. Is I was like, oh hey, I can't form a joke about buttholes from that title. That's weird. But, yeah, so I freely admit I'm not a fan of Ratchet & Clank. Really... Fraction Pole, yeah. I guess that is the thing, is that the South Park games kind of took over from that a little bit, didn't they? So, yeah, Ratchet & Clank for PS3, the first one, which is not a crack in time. It's Tools of Destruction. Yeah. That game I think was okay, but it was really getting a little bit too much into the numerical inflation thing that, you know, that kind of made the game feel a little bit like the pacing was just worse. Because I think that was one where you really had to get way too much money for stuff. And then A Crack in Time happened, and I mean, that played okay, but like, the other thing is that I could not get into the plot very much. Which is weird to be like, oh hey, Ratchet and Clank games have a plot, you know? But it really did, you know, it is a series where a good plot cannot make it, but a bad plot can break it, right? So I just, like, couldn't get into the whole Zony shit. It was not good. And then I didn't really catch on to any of the others. I think I was disinterested away from All for One because it was... If All for One was not a multiplayer-only game, which I don't know that it was, it felt like it was advertised as such. And that's a bit of a problem because I don't exactly have a lot of friends in real life. And, you know, right now, couch co-op is kind of still not a thing that a lot of people are going to really be clamoring for a whole lot because, you know, diseases and all that. Even though a large portion of people, I think recent news is that 2/3 of adults in America are vaccinated, which honestly is pretty impressive. Because, of course, I follow a lot of people all over the world on Twitter, and so I hear a lot of stuff about how badly they're fucking it up in places like England and Japan. You know, places where you would think by all rights they should absolutely be stomping a mud hole in our asses. And yet, we're over here actually doing better than either of those countries in terms of vaccination rates, and it's like, that is completely buck wild. Good to hear, by the way, about you getting your second shot. I would like to say to anyone else who is watching this, if you have not gotten vaccinated, go and see about scheduling for your first shot now, and that thing just got unstuck, so we are gonna be taking a fight here. However, I do have that full heal book, so I can get back our dead party member, finally. Thank you, game. That is shockingly generous of you, because we're getting reasonably close to a boss. And yeah, that's the thing, is that I didn't really grab All for One because of that, and after that, I hit a point of really not paying attention to new games. So I'm far enough out of the loop at this point that I just was not hooked back in. I saw a Ratchet and Clank game for the PS5 and I'm like, oh, that exists. Around that time, actually, also, there was a movie or something for the series. Or there was at least talk about a movie. And I remember, like, reading about it, and it's like, oh, it's basically the first game, except Dr. Nefarious is there, and that was another thing, is that I couldn't get in. I just did not like Dr. Nefarious in the third game. He had very much run his course after, well, by the third game, I mean the third PS3 game, because I didn't get to play Quest for Booty, because that was digital only, and I don't know that that's available anymore. It might well be, and at that point, that means, well, maybe I should find out about that and pay the $15 and actually play that game to see if it's not garbage. But, rather, Dr. Nefarious, I could not get into him in that PS3 game. And, I mean, I already found him a little bit overdone in Ratchet and Clank 3. I thought it was a little bit... He didn't have much going for him, is what I'm trying to say. And then the cameos, because it was like, oh yeah, he gets stuck on the soap operas, and that's funny. I just didn't really get the joke, I guess. Hi, Fire Drake. I'm here having spicy hot takes. Who wants to hear my feelings about Shantae for the GB color? I suddenly realized, oh right, Shantae wasn't a GBA game, and GBC sounds a little bit weird. Well, you go ahead and get to sleep then. Yeah, so I fell off the Ratchet and Clank train somewhere around there. Maybe I should, like, go back and find out what other games I haven't played from it and be like, hey, can I get these for a reasonable price? Because I did love the original trilogy. It was a very fun set of games. Although I think Ratchet Deadlock was pretty alright too. I had a lot of fun with that, but it really was emblematic of the fact that they were swinging very hard into that sort of arena focus anyway, so a game that's literally just that was kind of an inevitability.
I win.
And you know, I understand if people didn't like that, basically, and I admit that my interest in playing that is not always super high. But I don't see why I can't go back to it at some point. Anyway, this thing is called Fangbone. I'm pretty sure in English we call that a jaw. Da-da-da-da-da-da. Actually, the Shantae thing came up because, of course, today they released... Wait, did they properly release Kazuya, or were they just showing him off in more depth? I know that there was a presentation, and there were a couple of Mii costumes for Smash Ultimate, and Shantae was one of them. And of course, a bunch of people are as salty as you would expect them to be. Because there is a lot of... Well, is it true to say that there's a lot of nostalgia? I guess if it's people who were young when Risky's Revenge and stuff came out, I gotta remember that those games are pretty old now. Like, Risky's Revenge was DSiWare, I think, so that's over 10 years old. It's 2021. What the hell happened? And yeah, I was gonna be like, I'm not sure if it's nostalgia because weren't there like only a few thousand copies of the original Shantae made? And you know, clearly that doesn't matter too much if it's for the newer games, because those did much better after the game got kind of a strong reputation, basically, for being quite good. I think a lot more to do with it is that it was a proper indie game for the Game Boy Color that wasn't just like, oh hey, here's some bootlegged ROMs from the NES or something that were running on a not so great emulator. Because, you know, that was an era when those platforms were not very open. And WayForward was a small company, properly what you could call an indie at that point, although really I've definitely felt like they've gotten a lot bigger over the years. Again, off of the backs of very strong reputation for a lot of games that are very well deserved. Shantae for the Game Boy Color is not one of them. I'm sorry. It has a lot of bad design decisions that are not good, as you'd probably guess. And there were some people, I mentioned this to a group of people online, a social media feed, basically. Not on Twitter or anything like that. I'm not that stupid. It's still something that's, like, locked, so semi-private, if you will, at best. And I was fully expecting to get my ass torn to pieces for it, but a lot of people responded by saying, yeah, I kind of remember the controls being really janky, and I'm like, I actually do not remember that. But I do remember a lot of bottomless pits that you can't tell are bottomless pits until you're about to die. Probably because the graphics were a little too large for the screen. Which is just very much a Game Boy thing, that, you know, there's not enough screen share there to put big sprites and stuff on there and have a large, wide playing area. It cannot be helped, but it's still not particularly great. I think Super Mario Land 2 was kind of the upper limit in terms of good taste on that one. That, like, once you have sprites that are bigger than Mario with a power-up in 6 golden coins, you might be going a little overboard, and people are not going to be able to figure out everything what's going on. And that's a problem. Anyway, let's see who else I can piss off today. I'm clearly going a little overboard. I also released earlier that review of Mystical Ninja for the N64. And considering I spend a lot of time in that video talking about, well, the things that I brought up regularly when I was streaming the game about how it was scripted and certain things that make me as a non-binary person very uncomfortable. And, you know, I'm fully expecting somebody on the internet to start slamming their face on the keyboard in my comment sections about how I'm getting too political or something about it. You're pissed already, but it's at work going along. You know, that's a good reason to be pissed. I don't remember what you do for a living. You've definitely... I'm sure you've mentioned before, but... like, whatever it is, I hope they hurry their asses up. And these lizards are just everywhere. These chameleons with the gigantic face horn. Actually, that's kind of true to what a chameleon is like. Right? Like a wild chameleon has a big ass horn on its face and huge eyes that point in weird directions. Basically, a chameleon kind of looks like a slightly smaller iguana, I think, but with a big thing sticking out of its nose area. Or I guess where you would go, oh hey, the nose is here. Maybe it's somewhere else. Maybe it's right above its butthole. I really hope it's not. Because that would suck if you were a chameleon and your nose... well, I mean, if you were anything, obviously. And your nose was right above your exhaust port. Nobody wants that. Nobody wants that. Nobody wants to think about that. I don't even want to think about that. I don't know why I said it, really. Well, thank you for confirming. That seems like one of those weird, that's a strange thing for you to know kind of things, but I will not, ask questions. You can just Google it, and, it would be for entirely normal reasons, or, You could be some sort of professional animal nose locator. And I would be none the wiser. Sounds like a job out of foresight. Well, now that you mention it, yeah. Oh boy, that's probably gonna get thrown. Maybe not. I don't need to go in that last thing. It's just gonna be an item or something. I don't need more items. We've got to go find and beat up a boss. Oh wow, they're gonna give it to us this fast, okay. X gonna give it to us, I suppose. Oh, look at this big angry Chungus frog. And this, we've seen this dude before. It's the fully evolved version of the healing frogs. Which is strange because that's an egg that you can just buy in the shops. This is one of the... Well, wait, no, I've just realized... You fight 3 out of 4 of those families as bosses. That's... Huh. How did I never think of that before? But... Whatever. This thing is probably going to try to spam us with healing magic, so we would like to try and burst this thing if possible. Or it's going to just use a bunch of completely irrelevant other supporting moves. I suppose it's better than it just being like, okay, attack up, heal, 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 heal. That'd be sad. But oh no, my defense is down when it can't even get to me through this barrier. Yet. Excuse me. And see, this thing is almost toast. It's to the point that I think I can do this and maybe get the kill. You know, for something that's really not magic-based... Yeah, there we go. For something that's really not magic-based, our Scorpion is getting really good healing going here. I'm very happy about this. And we've unlocked Water Tier. Not to be confused with Water Tour, which is where we are, because naming these locations was a bit of a silly thing, I guess. So, do that. I am actually going to throw out that pretty stone. That's only worth 100. Get out of here. Get the fuck out of here. You're kidding me. And yeah, instead we get a gem worth 4,000. I will accept this trade quite happily, game. Get a heal that we don't need, because we're going to leave as soon as we are done scouting this entire floor and going on to the next. Again, the items are not super important. I'm probably not gonna bother like making inventory space. Actually, I will throw out 800 cost gems for these to try and basically try and fish for something bigger. And we did not succeed. Dang. Dang. Oh well, and yeah, that full inventory is why we are going to leave once we have finished scouting the area and walk down to the next floor. The negative beast I don't particularly want, actually. I already have one of those. And I mentioned before that their moves are not particularly good, except when the AI uses them for some reason. Alright, so as you can see, well, for a start, as you can hear, somebody is setting off fireworks again. You may have heard that one go off in the distance. And as you can see, let's go look at that map again. 7 floors. It doesn't mark the boss, but there is a boss at floor 6. And it is a randomly selected boss from floors 1, 2, 3, and 5. But at a higher level. And it respawns, as do its item drops. So it's not a bad idea to basically grind out full runs of these forests once you hit that point, because that's stat buff items. For example, this one here says toughen slimy weaknesses, so this will give a stat boost to a slimy type beast's worst stats. And that's pretty good, because, you know, rounding them off a little better is always nice. And look at this pile of cash that we get out of here.
Find something.
Yeah, you too, buddy. Let's stash our last couple of items. And let's go down to the lounge, check out if there are any NPCs here that we can talk to for possibly getting some items. I don't think these dudes have anything of note.
Congratulations on your victory against Levant. As beast hunters who fight together with you, we are proud of you.
Oh gosh, stop that. You're embarrassing me. But don't mind that. What we need to do is rally around this temple.
Indeed, you're right. We must do that.
Hey, your wings! Wings! Are they gone? Gone? Did you take them off?
Well, lots of stuff happened, so I didn't need them anymore.
Huh? What? What's that? What a waste. Why didn't you give them to me? I bet you're...
I don't know where they would.
Huh? Right, huh?
When I had a tail and stuff, I really didn't like it.
I couldn't
But
sit
now they're
down.
gone.
Don't worry about that. I'm with you, aren't I? A powerful tag team, right?
Yeah, nobody got anything new for us. That's a shame. But I suppose we should go hand in our recent acquisitions.
For any...
Here you go, I want some money. And there's 2 nice skills for us to put to use at some point. We got an MP healing spell, and we've got an attack that deals damage to HP and MP. And I'm pretty sure that it hits a lot harder than Life Steal because it doesn't drain. So that's pretty solid if you ask me. And so I think we're missing only 2 water dudes. At least relative to the base game. I think there's 1 extra for the water barrier spell. But we'll get that as we dig into, 34. There's only 33 in this, only 33 in the base game. So we're missing 2 from the water tier location. And I'm guessing that the last one is going to be purchased in one of the very deep earth forests. And that will teach Water Barrier, which is a hit-all water spell. That hopefully works in, like, all fights, because that Larvalize spell that we got a while back apparently does not. To which I can really only say, heck. Because if that means that a lot of the others are non-functional, that is very unfortunate. Although we saw a couple of them working. We saw the Rage Chance ability works in that fight at least. So there's that going for us. There's not much on this floor, I remember that, because, I definitely have this one sort of, etched into the old brain. After a very long time of having played this game over the years and years that one run ran for. I think it was years, it might have just been months.
Cure, why are you doing this?
Oh my, Kahu. What do you mean by this? Aren't you doing it too?
But Cure, I'm sure you could live a more normal life if you wanted.
Huh? What an odd boy. Don't ask boorish questions. I do it because I like it. I'm having much more fun since I came here. Made some new friends, too. How about you, Kahu? You're not doing it for the money, right?
Me? I guess I'm like you, Cure.
See? So we are alike, you see?
Alright, so this is where things should start expanding out a bit for us. And Oh, hey, that's just a baby monster hanging out on the map because the encounters to get eggs have changed. Which also means you have no idea what you're getting outside of some basics when you start into these fights. Very strange to do that, but okay. Let me pull up my list real quick, and we are digging all the way into water tier 4 in order to find another Kalma fight. Jeez, oh man. That is a lot of these floors probably being a little bit not interesting, which is quite unfortunate. Yeah, we can just end this pretty quickly. Alright, well, that's probably like half of the map covered that we got that in, so... This definitely looks like a place where that's only half the map. I've only gone in like one direction, so... I admit to making a big assumption there, but also... Oh, hey, that's neat. Is that full MP recovery? Yeah, that is probably something I shouldn't sell, and I should, like, carry those around for places where they will become useful. Which I'm sure will be more than 0. Can you turn around, buddy? I don't want to get into this fight, or at least let me pass. That works. This really is a very expansive map, although I guess all of these kind of are. And again, as we've said before, a lot of floors to these places. Honestly, I should probably take more of these fights because the experience is useful and it's the water forest, so healing items are fairly plentiful. But also, I'm shocked that thing turned around just on a dime. Okay, game, you do you, I guess. This one thing is really irritating. Come on. Just kill it already. There we go. Yeah, unfortunately, targeting in this game is, as we already know, a little outside of the player's hands. And honestly, the sheer proliferation of those stupid plane enemies, this is why I don't want to take these fights, really. Because there's too many of these jerks. Just a little more before things start getting slightly more interesting. Although we're getting pretty close to the floor where the first two Kalma in this area are, so we might start seeing some new enemies. In theory. I think we're going to be seeing a lot of the same thing over and over, which is unfortunate that they have those propeller birds in there, because that sleep spell is damned irritating. It's a little too good. It's like, remember when Smeargle with Dark Void was a thing in competitive Pokemon? What is this thing doing here? What the fuck is this thing doing here? This ain't the Earth Forest, motherfucker. Get out of here. That threw me off. Anyway, yeah. And then again, anytime I think about Dark Void Smeargle in competitive Pokemon, I think about just how badly they kicked that move's legs out from under it when they finally started doing stuff with that in, like, Gen 7, I think. So, Dark Void, for those of you who are not aware, is the special attack of the Pokemon Darkrai, which is a legendary Pokemon that is basically banned from every tournament because it's, well, basically just by virtue of being a legendary Pokemon, but it's also really, really good aside from that, so, you know, fair play to them. But that's its special move. It hits all opposing Pokemon on the field, or targets all of them, rather, and has, for each of them, an 80% chance to cause sleep. That's pretty good. And again, this Pokemon is usually banned from tournaments. So they get it onto Smeargle by having it use Sketch, because that's Smeargle's gimmick, is that it can copy a move once, and then it relearns that move to copy every 10 levels, so they basically get a whole custom moveset of goofy stuff on there. And so you would have people running around with Dark Void on Smeargle in the tiers where it's actually legal, and having an 80% chance for each opposing Pokemon to put them to sleep. Official Pokemon tournaments run mostly on doubles, by the way, so that's why you'd want that over Spore or something, because then you can put the entire opponent's front line to sleep. So what they did is they made this move usable only by Darkrai, which is fine. Honestly, that would have been good enough on its own, at least for, like, tournament balance. I don't think it would be an issue anywhere else, because you usually get Darkrai from promotional things anyway. So it's not like an in-game concern, but they also decided to drop its accuracy to 50% chance per target to put them to sleep. Which is hilarious, because that means that against a single Pokemon, it is now the least effective sleep move that only puts enemies to sleep, that doesn't attempt to do damage or anything like that. Because the next one up, Sing and or Grass Whistle, has a 55% chance to work. And they made something lower than the previous worst. And made it so that way only as a specific legendary Pokemon that is banned from every tournament and can only be obtained through promotional stuff, able to use it. It's really funny, actually. It is so overkill. It's just so overkill. And of course, we have to go through all of this just to get to probably the last place in here. Sheesh. There's a lot going on. Is this actually going to be the thing that'll give us the key here? Yes, it is. Alright, finally we can move on to a floor that is gonna have some real content. I am sorry about drying up. This is a terrible place to dry up too, right? But I'm sorry about drying up so badly in terms of commentary here. There is not a lot going on. This is one of the downsides of the post game here, is that, well, there's not a lot going on. I can stand easy here. Yeah, that fireside is not particularly fast. I should see about upgrading that at some point. Where's the thing gonna go to turn around? It's going all the way over there. Alright, we managed to run into the wall enough to get past it. Alright, here we go. Here's our target.
Too bad.
Listen, I'm not great at games, I know, buddy. And this will be the upgrade version of that wasp that we saw earlier. It seems to be using an actual attack pattern this time instead of, like, just, hey, I'm gonna try casting Adia on myself on turn 1. Yeah, so it's gonna actually full heal itself. We can see that it has 559 HP. Interesting. Yay! Now we go back to this floor not being very relevant. At least the next two will be something, I think. I also have to admit here that I was kind of expecting Because, of course, I don't remember, but I was expecting the Kalma to be a lot harder here. Or at least about on par with the ones in the Forest of Darkness. Maybe I'm just that much more beefed up than I was when I was doing those. Because, of course, remember, we did punch that wasp for like an hour. And we fed our party a lot of stat buffing items, so... maybe we are just in a place where we're, you know, just doing too well for anything to pose a real threat to us anymore. Until we get to the Fire Forest, because that place will always destroy me, but I digress. We'll get to that when we get there. We will slightly more literally than usual burn that bridge when we cross it. Alright, I think we need to cast a sleep spell right off. We don't want that defense buff going up, because that's annoying. And so we got a fight here. We can, yeah, we can get an egg from this dude.
Hey, let's do it.
Huh?
Battle.
Same dialogue, so we're just gonna mash through this.
I'm not pulling any punches.
Okay, let's start the battle.
That's a different line. Also, only 4 dudes this time, so this'll probably be an easier fight, although this might hurt when the other 2 do it. Because that thing cannot even scratch paint with magic. Oh, that damage is pretty grody. That doesn't feel good. That doesn't feel good at all. Damn it! Fucker. Can't hit anything, apparently. Sheesh. That's more like it.
I can do it if I...
Alright, let's go over here. Let's get some healing going. Because I think that's probably a worthwhile endeavor. I mean, we're not going to get a... Yeah, we're not going to do much damage to this thing at all. And especially not when it does stuff like that. But if he's going to sit there and just spam that... I mean, I guess at least we chip that health down a little bit or something. We get it, buddy. We get it. You're trying to stack stat buffs when that doesn't work that way. Stop whacking things with my fingers while I'm sitting here in the middle of... Yeah, that sounds a lot worse than I meant it to. Shut up. It's true. It sure did. But, you know, finger drumming on a desk when you've got a microphone that's standing on your desk is a good way to get a lot of weird thumping noises into your audio stream.
Many beast hunters have passed ahead of me.
Like that. Yeah, we're gonna skip the dialogue that we've seen before today, because
Excellent.
we've seen quite a bit of this
Yuppie.
today.
But
Yep, there we go. There's our fourth Nah
oh
medal.
my, you have collected lots. I'm so glad. I'll give you this too. Please treasure it.
And that
Well then,
is an
see you.
egg that I don't believe we've found this entire time. That is the wind knot egg, I believe, actually. Which is fine. That will be very useful once we get around to 8 Nah medals. Having some more wind support for our doling out attacks. And you can see those things' normal attacks are starting to hit pretty hard. We just took like 130 damage that turn. And we missed again because this mushroom is fucking incompetent. I mean, just because it's a fun guy doesn't mean it's a fun guy to use, right? Wait, no, I think I had that backwards. Sorry, just because it's a fun guy doesn't mean it's a fun guy to use. There we go. That's better. See, we got there in the end. Right? It's all good. Everything's fine. I don't know. You just really like the bad jokes, I suppose. And believe you me, I am full of bad jokes. Which I assume is why anybody watches this stream. It's because, oh, that sense of humor is terrible! I'm going to have to follow that. The dudes with revival spells. I'm actually just gonna escape from that immediately, because otherwise that could turn into a train wreck of me losing mana very, very quickly. Now we drop into our last area where we can get a water Kalma. There's still another water area after this and a cutscene, but this is the last one where we can grab some free money, basically. Would this thing like to turn around? Hey, you want to fuck off, please? That's right. That's not enough in the back. That sucks. Escape? No, apparently not. Good. I'm glad. Alright, so our mushroom is good and cheesed off. Fuck right off, man! Really? Now I can't outrun these fuckers? Good, I'm gonna lose a... Somebody's actually going to die. Once again... Oh, buddy. Alright, now if this one just wants to attack instead of... Or if we... Yeah, no. Fuck you, game. Fuck you. Absolute bullshit. There is no reason that should have... Ugh. I am most displeased. And so to deal with this, we're gonna sit here and we're going to throw items for a moment while we try to work on this. I don't have enough mana for another barrier, do I? No, I don't. So that's just kind of obnoxious. These things want to go to sleep, that would be great. No, of course not. They decide, hey, we're gonna guard your statuses. That's not the one I wanted him to squish, but okay. It is one target dead, I suppose. Use an MP back book and refill everybody. And that is a much better turn than that last one. That is more in line with what we like to see. Throw the HP back book as well. Get everybody fully recovered. Actually, can we force this thing to despawn now that it's sleeping like that? Do we have to go further away and we wouldn't be able to do that? I would like to fight as few of these stupid goddamn lizards as possible. They're honestly really, really obnoxious. Fine. Go the fuck to sleep, assholes. Well, at least one of them did. And a stun for the other, that's good. It's good. Quote Charles Barkley that one time. I don't remember what time it was, but it was one of them. You know, it was one of those times, right? And he's probably said that's good more than just one time in his life. Hey, a revival item. That's nice to have. Hey, a full heal MP and HP item. Neat. I don't want anything from this dude. I just want to go past here. I want to save the rest of my MP and stuff so that way I don't have to throw too many items. Where's the last Kalma here that I need to beat up? That area over there is... No, it's not just a dead end. Let's fill in that little part of the map so I don't get bamboozled in the future. Just stopping in the middle of the thoroughfare like that. That must be my dog. Except for some reason a fish. Alright, fine. Let's take this fight for the specific reason of escaping from it. In order to get in here, and there we go. The last water Kalma that we have to fight. There's still one more that we can purchase a Cocoon for, I believe. That's what I was led to believe from the patch notes anyway. This thing is called Rage. Which is funny because its spell that it gives is a regen spell. It heals 90 HP a turn. It's not very good. Unless you're fighting against fairly weak enemies. Although I guess if you're set up behind a barrier and they can't get through it in one turn, it can be a decent source of, you know, slowly ticking back and all that. It's a pretty good number, but as we can probably surmise, this thing probably has like 600 HP, like that wasp. But hey, we're gonna burst it down this turn anyway, so the exact number doesn't quite matter. It just gets horribly exploded, and we get our last Cocoon, at least for this area, for this particular forest. And because we did off-screen stuff, and even some on-screen actually, we don't have to go back to earlier stages to get anything else. At least not from here. Always good. Always a nice thing. So just keep moving around in this chair. Right. Yeah, there's the exit right there. There's more we could explore, but it's not really important to at this point. It would just be items and possibly a healing plant, but we don't really need that. I think we'll be okay. It's just a water forest boss that we will be coming up to when we get there. Although admittedly it might not be a super short path to get there, but yeah. We will see, I suppose. I wish there were less of these dorks crawling around, but I guess we can only have so much, can't we? Hopefully some of them just start disappearing as we go into and out of these ogre vines to pick up items, and probably have to take a while to find the boss because sometimes this game is just not nice about that sort of thing. Alright, let's heal you up real quick. There's yet another revival item that we just do not need right now. I probably should store those and take them out when it becomes time to go to the deeper areas of the fire forest, because it is very easy to die there. Still, some things never change, I suppose. Does anyone else need healing? Yes, actually. Probably been doing some of these fights in a really weird way, haven't we? I don't remember anymore. I mean, the first floor of this area feels like it was a billion years ago, so... Alright, well, there's the exit. And obviously, we have to get into the fight first before we can deal with that. There's no way... Well... like any RPG really is gonna let us carry on before we beat the boss. Fuck, I didn't want to get into this fight. Come on, game. Let's just go for shock and awe, I guess. See if we can't kill these things off real fast. I mean, it's not like they'll be able to heal enough to get back in gear here. Although we might take a decent amount of damage. It sure is a lot. That'll do, I guess. This one that's blocked is probably where we have to go, isn't it? Use some more of my healing items. Alright. Now time to, I was gonna say, time to sit here and wait for this thing to turn around. It did, I went for it, and he did a second turn too damn fast. Can I just leave this fight, please? I don't want to deal with this. Yeah, there we go. That's better. That's better. Thank you, game, for not being a complete asshole. Except that it was yet again, because what we're looking for ain't here. Although there's a big area over to the side. This is just... yeah, that's just out of bounds. Okay, that's weird. Oh, I see. There's a section that we didn't go through because this fucker is horizontal. This drunken asshole. What's my uncle doing here? There we go. Alright. Fight is not here. It might be over in the... I'm assuming there's another thing just right over there, but there's a path. And it's blocked by another one of these fuckers, so we're gonna draw you out. You fall asleep. And we're gonna go in a couple of these real quick and see if that boots it off of the screen, possibly, or off of this mortal coil or something, I don't know. However that goes. We just don't... I just don't want to get in those fights because those enemies are really, really annoying. I don't know how they are as good with that skill considering every time I've used it, it's been garbage. And it's been with those beasts too, so it's not like, oh hey, you're using it with the wrong things. Clearly not, the way this has been going. Hey, you know, sometimes things are just worse when the enemy uses them than when you do. Or vice versa. Depending on what type of worse you're talking about here. Okay, turn around. Alright. Enter back arc. And leave battle. Or don't, I guess. That's another option. Excuse me. At least it only took 2 tries, and we had initiative, so... it was basically like 1. Still not yet? Good God, this floor is huge! I don't want any. There we go. Just say it once, apparently, and the game's like, alright, fine, we get it. We're still gonna annoy you with more of these fuckers, but... we'll let you go, I guess. Thanks. Thanks, Obama. Here we go. Here's what we're looking for. Oh, look at this. It's this dude. It's the only Nah boss for this area, I think. For some strange reason. And you can see it's gonna hit pretty hard. But hopefully we can turn that around and we can hit pretty hard in response. We got a buff, we got a barrier. That barrier won't go down in 1 hit, I don't think. Especially not after the buff. But yeah, an idiot who can't hit anything, apparently, still. I really need someone else in that position, but I haven't gotten around to it yet. 'Cause I'm lazy. Yeah, there's some good damage, that 311. Okay, so it will break that barrier in one hit. That is a little bit scary. Not gonna lie, I'm surprised that that's the kind of numbers we're seeing. I'm also surprised to see this thing go faster than... Wow. That's really rude, game. That is really rude. I don't remember these bosses being quite this hard. Is all I can really say here. Wow, I thought that like everything in Section 6 was on par with Section 5. But apparently I'm wrong. And by a non-zero amount, apparently, too. Shit. Yeah, see, Booker, that guy can hit anything. You gotta step your fucking game up, asshole. Idiot. Motherfucker. Jackass. And keep throwing out random rude words. Maybe eventually one of them will stick or something. Whatever. This fight turned out to not be hard, but we did see some scary numbers, so... Points where that's due, I guess. Credit where that's due, rather. Biff. I enjoy how the stun sound is... Their stun attack sound is just so... not impressive. And we get 2 of those. We get another piece of jewelry that we cannot hold. Oh, is that a figure? Yeah, it just went straight into our thing instead. Right, I forgot about the figurines. So we got one. We got one of Evil Kahu, and he's, well, pulling a weird face as usual and doing a kind of not right looking pose. Well, I guess, yeah, if it's supposed to be like that. You ever spent an hour's work before realizing that for practical purposes that work had already been done for you to begin with? I believe I have, yes. That sounds incredibly frustrating, my dude. Ain't that some shit, as they say. Whoever they are in this case. I mean, still, it sucks. You know, that doesn't change the fact that it sucks. Well, I mean, at least there's that, yeah, that's never bad. Here we are, dropping into the last floor of this area. As I mentioned before, just a little cutscene floor. Remember this layout? Probably not, it's been
There
weeks.
is another gate for going any deeper.
So is this the deepest part of the forest? Huh? What's that? What? This is...
I feel the power of the forest. This is...
A new orb is here! Wow!
Yeah, the post-game admittedly is kind of repetitious, so you get things like this, and... Hey, look. It's... a jewel instead of... yeah. You can now enter an auto turn right tournament. That... ooh. That sounds pretty spicy. We'll check that out in a moment, but first... we gotta hand a couple of things in real quick.
Hello.
And then sell some stuff.
Thank.
Find something.
Gotta remember to store those. Yeah, we'll store the egg too. The MP back books. We will carry those in our inventory.
Find something.
That's an item. Whoops. Alright, so we'll check the lounge and then save and check out that tournament. I don't think anybody here is going to have anything of use for us.
You've got no wings, no tail either. You're normal. How boring.
Well, lots of stuff happened.
Okay, shut up,
I broke the
Haruhi.
curse, and then I settled
Jeez.
matters with Levant.
Indeed. So Levant took it to hell as a souvenir. Remember the tail?
Nice.
The tail forever. Oh, such a waste.
I heard that Kikinak and Company is gonna use the Gehenna arts to make copies of it.
Hey, just making
I
shit up.
can't ignore that. You serious? Serious? Really? When will they start selling? Hey, tell me when. That's so cool.
Oh, sorry. I don't know any details. Go ask Kikinak and Company.
Oh my, are you entering the tournament too?
Yep, I intend to. You too?
Oh my gosh. Now I have a powerful rival, but I don't intend to lose.
Right, well. Might be looking forward to seeing that dude in a second, I guess. Interesting. Either way, we're gonna take a quick save before this. Because if we failed, then we can just not save then, I guess.
Welcome.
Because these might be pretty damn hard. Into tournaments. Alright, so these are like actual proper things we got here. Let's check out the auto write tournament here. See, they got like an actual board of stuff here. There's more work gone into this than usual. I suppose technically I should like realign this so that way I start at fire then. Oh geez, you've got that too? Ouch!
Hey, watch your health.
Hey, fuck off. Can you not do that? All that mana is gone. Jesus Christ. Well, at least we can inflict the defense debuff. We can start doing some decent damage. We got a stun there, shockingly. You know, all told, at least there's still some of that classic bad layout going on, because she's got the Scorpion over Wind where it literally cannot act. That damage spreading is not so great. Ow. Jesus, can you not do that, please? Not all aim at the same target? Ugh. That's frustrating. Also, you're going faster than... I don't like it. Yeah, we are definitely... If we win this, it's gonna be pretty much pure luck. Let's not kid ourselves. However, I think our barrier at least is going to be better than hers. I still don't trust it to take even a single attack on that water side, but we're going to see what happens. Alright, we're making a little headway here. A little bit. Well, at least we heal better than she does. Yeah, see, what is that thing doing over here? So how did you get faster than me suddenly? I don't understand sometimes how actually the speed and the turn order stuff works. Because it definitely seems like there is a very wide amount of RNG involved. And we have no area of effect damage anymore because, of course not. Alright, well, you're not going to go down the middle, so target the nearly dead one, I guess. That's okay too, I guess. I guess. Taking 2 hits here. That ain't great. But we have to do what we have to do, I suppose. Yeah, I know. And that barrier is going to crack instantly. Fuck you! Damn it! Got hit by both and they aimed at the same target. Fuck you, game. Ugh. What a load of shit. Well, I mean, I guess at least we should still be breaking that barrier in one attack. Please. No. We're just not allowed to have certain things, I suppose, and those certain things are mostly going to be the middle of our entire party, because, yeah. Right, well, 1 unit down, I guess that's something. As we're probably about to die. I can't do anything about it! Shut the fuck up. Help me. And yeah, down to 1 shield. I did say that was a distinct possibility, so... Alright, so now these fuckos are both gonna... Or they're gonna do this. Never mind, one of them went down the middle and we're dead. Good old RNG. I'm gonna take one more crack at that because... I didn't realize that we would be force turned on the first turn, so... We should definitely set things up better so that way we can do setup better here. We're probably going to be facing a different first opponent too, so... Let's see what we end up with. Yeah, we're up against the bird mask dude. Who is bringing in this to start with? What do you got? Yeah, we're just bringing in lifesteal. That makes sense. It makes sense because they're the same model, just different palettes. But if we're gonna go second against the healing side, that's actually super okay. This could be problematic because we don't have a lot of water on our water side. And of course, true to form, the first one to fall asleep is actually the water beast. Are you guys gonna get the rest of your turn? Well, one of them is. Yeah, oh, look at that damage. That's pretty good. Watching that thing just flop down is pretty hilarious. Yeah. It's pretty good. It's good. It's good! Thank you, NBA Jam. If we can just, like, delete that thing, might be the best option. Although removing the barrier caster is pretty good, too. Yeah, we just are going to be dealing with an enemy with very high defense for a couple of turns. That healing is nothing huge, except for the one corner. But then again, I think that's because the nerd in the corner over there has ridiculously low health. So it just looks worse than it actually is. That sounds about normal to me. Hey! As we now use two completely useless instances of Cell Amnite. Perfect! Oh, that's not quite a kill. That's a shame. I wish the damage had been aimed elsewhere then. Yeah, this fight turned out to be free compared to the other one that we had the last time against Cinnamon, but we also weren't set up properly for that either, so that sucks. Well, that worked out nice. Continues to get all this healing that we do not need. And we win this fight. After we have to wait out both of these whole turns. Oh, that sounded like a different person speaking. Well, that's weird.
The match has begun.
Ooh, this person doesn't have a full beast amulet. That's weird. And we're getting some pretty hard-hitting AoEs going on there. Well, hey, depending on what else this dude is running, this might be a fight with just constant free shields. That would be nice. I don't think that's going to be how it's going to go, but it would be nice. Alright, Mitreya, yeah, you're doing this, and then Posa Magna, explode, so our shield is down in one go around. eliminate. And what else you got for us? Damaging spell. That could hit pretty hard because this side is particularly frail. And 117 is not much to write home about. This thing, I think this thing has worse magic. And, well, it did more damage. Although, again, maybe a glassier target, so... I don't know what to tell you on that one. Either way, we got a free kill, like, immediately, so... Let's keep up this damage.
At this rate, we're in trouble.
Ouch. That's a lot of... That's a lot of damage we were dealt. And that's going to be a lot more. Holy crap, we are absolutely getting down to the wire on that dude's HP. It's a good thing that we have the attack buff when we're going into the double Selenite turn, because then we can get some nice healing going. He shouldn't die from poison. He has more than 30 HP. Yeah. Just barely. Alright, that barrier is going down. We know. Explode by itself is pretty nasty for that. I think Fossa Magna, like, actually does function properly in terms of damaging barriers, so it should actually be dealing, like, all but one of the barriers' health, assuming that it has, like, a proper health bar. Which it very well might not. I suppose I don't truly know. I'm making an assumption here. Anyway, this tree is probably going to get nuked here. Yeah. So, like, that's it. We get free hits for the rest of the match, I think. I'm pretty sure we just have to wait until we have our win side pop up again and we win. I think. I think that's how this is gonna go. Like, there might be some targeting here, but only might be. And thankfully, that goofus didn't decide to aim over it, or still kind of softened Barrier Master. Yeah, that was some targeting. That's a little unfortunate, but oh well. Alright, it's not quite as fast as I thought it was, but close. And now we have one last opponent once this actually happens. Alright, it's just a bug dude.
The match has begun.
With only 7 beasts once again. Oh, this is a slightly weird sounding remix of this track. And two oh my god, this This roster build, how did this dude get past round 1? Oh boy, I think we might be about to find out looking at this wind side. That's what you would call not great. I see that jet. I see the devil shoe there. Probably had. Oh no, I didn't see it. I'm playing that idiot. Yeah, so that could be not good. And how the fuck did that thing just do that? That's not supposed to be doable. This guy is actually cheating. Ow! That hurt. That kamikaze hit, yeah, as you can see, that's a lot of damage. And it damages the user back. So that's not particularly super great to be dealing with. But I think we're going to be able to crack this barrier in one turn, hopefully. Although we are unbuffed right now, so that may not be true. Oh! Oh, yeah! Ooh, yeah! Get what's ours, Jesus! Jeez, oh man! Alright, now, if only that targeting, if only that could be, like, put to some sort of good use here. You know, if we just kill that thing next turn. That's one less thing that's attempting to petrify us. Excuse me. Actually, I'm quite curious if, like, there was some sort of targeting genius involved with this loadout here. Like, if these three are supposed to all target reasonably differently. That seems a little bit too smart for this game, though. I mean, it just straight up has one thing cheating, so whatever. Right. Well, if the one wants to stay asleep, again, we just start cleaning house here. Can we get a kill on this thing? Probably not. Yeah, sadly no. So this is actually a place where Eliminate is kind of going to shine, because you can see that we're not able to target a weakened beast like that for a very long time. Alright, barrier is removed. However, stacking it still doesn't do anything. So having two of those is probably not a good use of your loadout. Alright, turn. If you feel like... I was going to say, if he feels like going first, that would actually put my mind at ease a little bit, because otherwise that's a little terrifying, and we've just completely erased the fireside. That's pretty cool. I like when we do something like that. So this is pretty much now sit and wait for 5 rotations in order to get free shield, in order to get a free win. In fact, it'll probably be less than that, because Selam Knight will eat like most of our mana on the jet plane guy. So we should probably only need like 4 rotations. This team kind of rules. I'm glad I did this. That's the turn order that we wanted to see. Not quite the targeting we wanted to see, but it didn't work anyway, so whatever. Alright, can you go to the guy in the corner? Yeah. Just ripping that thing up a little bit. Unfortunately, it's going to be in a significantly less tore up state once we get around to attacking it again, so that's not as fun, but what can you do? Damn it! And of course, he spent so much time out of the spotlight that he gets a chance to bury it that often. And that kind of sucks to see. Alright, so there goes Eliminate again. We are not going to be able to kill this tree next turn, unfortunately. However, it's not going to be able to cast Adrokide, which is nice. At least, I think it's not going to be able to cast Adrokide. It looks like it's in a position where it can't, mana-wise, because it's in the red. Yeah, especially not now. Alright, well, time to sit here and mash X for a little while, everybody. This is the boring part of the tournament, because I literally have no control anymore. That's better. We like to see that, because that lets us get some damage in next turn. I mean, I don't think it's going to really let us threaten a kill on anything else here, but if we can, that's not bad. Well, I mean, we're getting pretty close. You're getting pretty damn close. So we've got that going for us. And we are down to only 3 on this dude's side, which is way more than we needed to kill, honestly, because at this point, yeah. One more rotation, and we are done here. Barrier is removed. I don't think we can threaten a kill here at all unless we are that low on mana over there. Well, I mean, we can push it a little bit, but we're not going to get... Yeah, we would need crits. Again, the kill would be completely worthless at this point, so whatever. Hey, there we go. Yay, we beat the tournament. Oh, it's worth a decent chunk of change. That is great. Well, there we go. We beat the auto turn right tournament. See, that's not too hard. Once we got lucky. And so with that, let me save, and that's going to do it for tonight's stream. Thank you all for watching.